I am Chris Lewis, your CAW heavyweight champion, undefeated for over a year, and not because of COVID, but because everybody's scared of me. Now you're watching Wrestle Geek's recap. Like, subscribe, or I'm gonna come down there and slap the stupid off your face.
Welcome, everybody. This is Wrestle Geeks Recaps. This is AEW Revolution's recap. So we put up the normal AEW recap on Sunday morning before the Revolution pay-per-view, so we could have this whole episode devoted to the pay-per-view. So I am your host, the Geek, Trevor Firth. I'm joined by my maritime brother, the cream in your coffee, Jordan Talbot.
Always good.
As well as joining us from Team Tiger Driver for this episode, we got the accountant, L Blue.
Yo, what's up, guys?
So, yes, we're going to talk about the ending at some point. I'm sure it's going to get brought up very quickly. But overall, how did you guys feel about the pay-per-view?
I'll let you go first, Jordan.
Okay. First of all, I liked how it had a variety of everything. Was the show perfect? There was things I didn't like. I'll admit that. No show is ever going to be extremely perfect. The ending, it is what it is. But all in all, I thought the show was a good classic AEW pay-per-view. They really know how to do pay-per-views.
Blue?
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with that. They had a little bit of everything. They put up as many people on this card as they could, possibly with the tag team rumble, the street fight, the crazy main event. Just a lot of different types of matches. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really fun. And what I love about AEW is that even as they're doing their pay-per-view, they still build up towards Dynamite and other shows, as we'll see along the way without any spoilers. But there's always new feuds and stuff kind of being teased, or war consoles for this Wednesday. So we'll get to that though.
Yeah. When it comes to me, I think this is probably one of the better pay-per-views we've had so far. But like, if I take out that last couple seconds, this was a 9 out of 10 pay-per-view for me personally. And Jordan, just because it's a perfect show for you, right?
Yeah.
If it's a perfect show to you, then it's trash to someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
That's just wrestling.
Yep. I mean, probably what's the one thing that pissed me off most on the show. You'll know it.
Oh, I have a feeling I already know what it is. But let's go right into it with the buy-in match, because this is something I love about AEW's pay-per-views. The buy-in matches are they're easy and accessible. You don't have to go out of your way. It's on YouTube. It's right there.
Yeah.
But not only that, but the matches are good. Like, there are always quality matches on the buy-in, and I really enjoy that. But for this show, it was a women's tag. Thunder Rosa and Riho were teaming up against Britt Baker and what was supposed to be Rebel. But Rebel had a doctor's note. And instead we got, and I admittedly, the show just started. I'm here like giddy little schoolgirl losing my shit, because we got Maki Ito.
There we go.
The cutest in the world. We got the queen of Kauai herself, Maki Ito, and I'm so pumped, man. I am so happy Maki Ito's going to Dynamite and going to be in AEW next little bit.
Oh, that's adorable.
Usually the one freaking out about the women talent, so. But the match itself was very good, back and forth match for the most part. Riho, Maki Ito, you can see the history between the two of them, that they have experience. Then Excalibur, being Excalibur, was telling us on commentary facts about Tokyo Joshi Pro. Like the fact that Thunder Rosa defeated Maki Ito for what is essentially their Intercontinental title. I'm in the middle of typing this to Jay, Jay from the UK, one of our other hosts, and Excalibur says it. I hit send and go, never mind. Excalibur beat me to it.
It's awesome.
But yeah, Blue, go into the match, man. What do you think?
Yeah, not just to add to that real quick. Yeah, the Excalibur, like you really see him highlight in these type of matches. He's got like that Japanese wrestling historian background where he just goes into like all the history of the moves and the wrestlers. It's fun to see him actually. This is where he does better than I think the other announcers in just giving a little bit of background.
I mean, like the women's eliminator tournament show 1, he soloed it. He soloed all the English commentary for that show, and it was good. It was damn good commentary. I was impressed.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Excalibur that a lot of people just don't seem to realize is people think, oh, he's really funny. He wears a mask. He's hilarious. Yes, he is. But you got to remember, he was a wrestler. And he was also a person behind PWG. This guy knows things. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't discredit him.
He says it himself. He's a commentator by happenstance.
Yeah.
They needed somebody to do it for the DVD sales of PWG. So he's like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
That's crazy how good he's gotten. But no, actually back to the match. It was a fun match. Seeing Maki was again great. It's funny how like they picked up like, wow, people actually want to see Maki in AEW and Dynamite. Let's bring her over from Japan. And I think she had just wrestled in a tournament final the night before, if I'm wrong. Excalibur kept mentioning it.
I think the finals of that show were. I'm trying to think really hard right now because I watched that show.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it was March 6th. It was March 6th because I watched it yesterday morning before the pay-per-view. So yes. Yeah, and I watched it a day late. So yeah, it was March 6th.
That was a long day, I guess, for Maki to get back here. But I mean, they brought her over. No, it was a good match overall. I like how Maki's like headbutt moves. It reminds me of Hanma from New Japan. She does a little like hard head attacks.
Well,
nice.
Her gimmick is apparently that she has the hardest head in the world. I'm just down for it. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'll buy into it. No, I think I like her better than Riho. Maybe I'm just biased against Riho. I like Riho. I mean, her wrestling's great. It's just having her be the first AEW champion, I was kind of against that. But I don't know. Everybody, she's grown on me. But Maki is just, she has more personality for sure. Seeing that. But overall, good match. Jordan, what did you think about it?
Well, I'm always happy to see Thunder Rosa. She's, in my opinion, a megastar in the making for AEW. I hope she stays there. If she has to do her time between AEW and NWA, that's cool, but I think she's definitely a star of AEW. Riho, I'm on the same boat as you, Blue. It took me a while to, really like her as the first AEW Women's Champion and so on and so on. But she's grown on me, and she's really a talent that I like seeing in the ring. Dr. Britt Baker is always a pleasure to see her wrestle because she's just awesome. And going on later about the show, which is still hurting. Trevor knows what I'm going to talk about. That's going to hurt to talk about. But I definitely see Britt Baker. If AEW really works hard at it, she will be the top heel of the women's division.
She already is, in my opinion.
Like, in terms of holding the title. Okay. When she holds the title. And Maki Ito... man, you guys have already said enough about her, of how good she is. There's nothing else to say of how good that woman is. But all in all, the match was awesome. And more importantly, it did the job that a pre-show match is supposed to do. It got people excited for the pay-per-view.
Britt did get the win on Thunder Rosa as well. So
Are you sure? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, it was on Thunder Rosa. That's what I thought. It was... That tells a lot, and that keeps that story and rivalry going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a screwy finish with the interference from Reba or Rebel. I like how you still don't get the name. Like she still doesn't get that name right.
Reba McEntire was in the match?
No, not Reba McEntire.
I love this. The graph. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. On Dynamite tonight, we're supposed to be getting a 6-woman tag, which would be Mizunami teaming up with Thunder Rosa and Riho versus Britt Baker, Maki Ito, and it says Rebel in brackets, not Reba.
That's
That's
great.
good. That is
that's...
good. I love it. But before we move on to the main show, I have one last thing to say. Maki Ito Respect Squad all the way.
One thing I want to add to her entrance, they gotta show people the lyrics for that song. That way people can join it, even if it's in Japanese. I think that would be so much fun.
It kind of gives me the vibe of Minoru Suzuki when that song comes out. You want to almost, even though you don't know the entire words, you just want to say Kaze ni Nare. You want to do it.
Into it. That's what I was right about to say. I'm like, we know for a fact that like Blue, we've seen enough New Japan on American soil to know that like he gets that reaction when he comes here.
Yeah, for sure.
Sing his song. American crowds sing his song when he's here, and Maki Ito is going to be that very soon. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm so happy she's here.
And that was just a pre-show.
It was just a pre-show. But the first match of the night, which I was surprised they opened with this, we get the AEW Tag Team Championship match between the Young Bucks and MJF and Jericho.
Awesome.
This match was, I'll be honest, didn't really do it for me overall.
Really?
I know, right? Like, to me, it was so telegraphed. All of it. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed the show, but the match was nothing spectacular for me. The Young Bucks do retain, and there was a nice little brawl at the end there. But yeah, no, for me, it was just like, I was like, okay, cue Nick Jackson doing this, cue Matt Jackson doing that, cue MJF doing this, cue Jericho, yep, there, okay. Like, I called like almost every spot in this match. And yeah, sorry, that I don't know if it's just me who has like, my mind is too active sometimes for wrestling, and I do it a lot when I watch WWE. So that's one reason why I don't enjoy watching them. But that's me. I didn't enjoy this match that much. Like I said, it was very cookie cutter in my opinion. But Jordan?
Give me a second to find my inner peace right now.
Didn't like those comments, eh?
I am holding in the rage.
Just, hey man, remember, Jericho is my number one wrestler in the world, okay?
You dishonor him. You dishonor him. You dishonor him. Shame. I am pointing the shame finger at you. The finger of shame that points to the shamer. I'm calling you Shame McMahon. You are Shame McMahon.
That's terrible.
You are Shame Strickland. I can't think of any other shades, but if anyone thinks so, comment so I can remember it for the next time.
Oh boy.
But
great.
So for me, Trevor, that's your opinion. That's all cool. It's wrong, but it's all cool. But I personally love this match because these are four of my favorite people. I was very interested to see how Chris Jericho and MJF could work on the big stage, if it could work like them together as a team. And I thought they had really good chemistry. But then again, you got these two guys. These MJF and Chris Jericho are just awesome heels, and they just were able to work and mesh well together. And the Young Bucks are the Young Bucks. I mean, come on. It was going to be, they were going to knock it out of the park. But I will say I didn't see them losing the titles because I don't see the Bucks losing them for a while, since it feels like they just won them. So I don't think it would have been cool to lose the titles so quick. But I really liked the match. Everybody did their part. I will admit with this, Trevor, I did see that the match was going to end somehow by miscommunication. There was going to feel like that miscommunication, and it happened. But all in all, I liked it. I thought it was a good tag team match and a good opener.
Okay.
I'm like
Your
scared
opinion.
to opinionate now. I don't want to get too
In the
mad.
middle.
If I could add anything, I think I kind of fall between both of you guys. If I could add anything about it, was the build-up for this match was them attacking Papa Buck. So I feel like there was a lack of intensity from the Bucks, and maybe it's just me not seeing it because there's a Young Bucks style match that they do, and they excel at that. But when the build-up to the match was that there was like real grudge between them, right? Because they attacked the dad. And during the match, you didn't. At least I didn't really see that intensity in the Bucks. They were just doing what the Bucks do best. There wasn't, and I don't know how to describe this. Like maybe like they teased, one of the Bucks using a chair, or them trying to cross the line during the match, and that never really reached that point. So it was a great match outside of the context of like the build up to it. But when you look at it with the build up coming towards it, I feel like this was just like a normal match in the feud instead of like the end all be all between Jericho and the Bucks. But yeah, similarly, I love everybody in the match. I think the spot where Wardlow getting taken out by accident was pretty good with the Judas effect.
Yeah.
Wardlow's a big guy. He shouldn't be taken out so easily, and it was like, oh, okay, it took a finisher to get him out of the match for a bit. But yeah,
too.
Yeah. So
That's
overall,
that's what I liked about that spot. It was only for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still didn't. He still looks tough, even being a bodyguard. Which, like, just digressing a little bit, Wardlow's kind of been in AEW since the beginning, and I feel like he's just been paid to be a bodyguard. He doesn't really have that many matches.
No, but it keeps him looking really powerful and strong.
True. Yeah.
He's due for one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's due for something.
He's due for a feud.
I agree with Blue on what you said about how the grudge feel wasn't really there in the match. And if they do a rematch of this match, they should make it a no disqualification, because I don't think you should have just 2 back-to-back regular matches when these guys beat up your dad.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Unless they beat up one of their wives, then, they gotta do something.
Second match of the night was the Casino Tag Team Royal match. Royale.
Trevor, before you move on with it, do you want to, or I don't know at what point, was this right after the match where they had the War Console meeting, or they teased that? It was a little later, right?
I think it was a little later, but yeah, we can just, they're going to be doing, they announced it on Dynamite, they're going to be doing a War Council meeting, and essentially, this is going to be the moment where MJF is like, finally pulls the trigger on whatever his big plan is, and you can tell. Like, Jericho is standing there like, I'm getting rid of MJF, not realizing that everybody's going to go with MJF and not him. But I mean, yeah, we've seen this coming for a while.
Yeah. Just before you start, there was something else. Oh, sorry. There was one more thing I forgot to say about the match, and it's a plus I want to add. I am very happy Sammy Guevara didn't interfere, because that's what I was expecting to happen.
Yeah, but yeah, he's the wild. I was right about to say Sammy Guevara is the wild factor in this story right now. We have no idea what's going on with him. But a casino battle royal, not battle royal. Sorry, this is a rumble. Like, it's a rumble. It's a tag team rumble, and I've never seen a tag team rumble before. But I really liked it.
I did too.
Really fun. I have a list of all the tag teams. Let's see.
Oh boy.
We got Bear Country, Jurassic Express, Matt and Mike Seidel, Private Party, SCU, Butcher and the Blade, 3 different versions of Dark Order. So Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, 5 and 10, so 15. Sorry, bad joke. We got the Gun Club, but Billy Gunn wasn't there. It was both of his sons, Austin and Colton. From Inner Circle, we got Proud and Powerful. The Natural Nightmares. Then apparently Cesar Bononi Peter Avalon's tag team name is the Pretty Picture. Didn't know that.
Hmm.
And then the Varsity Blondes, which is Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison.
You said Pac and Phoenix, right?
Oh, well, I was going to bring them up last because, yeah, Death Triangle,
sorry.
Pac
Okay.
and Phoenix end up coming out on top of this at the end, with Phoenix being the last man standing. But the match itself was just like, there's so much going on all the time, all the time. And they had the timer on the Tron, so they couldn't just manipulate the 90 seconds like some people do. I really enjoyed it, man. Like overall, like this is how a Royal Rumble style match should be done for the most part. Like there's a couple little spots, like Marco Stunt and Evil Uno was kind of messed up. You could tell that they screwed it up. I know what they were going for, but you can tell that they screwed it up. There's another spot that was a little messed up earlier that I can't think about. But for me, the big thing is QT Marshall walking out on Dustin. Just eliminating himself and walking out. They're the two head coaches of the Nightmare Factory. Everybody knows it, and it's part of their gimmick, for God's sakes. So, yeah. Is Nightmare Family going to be like split in two, where there's a heel faction and a face faction? Because they're expanding right now, too. Like, people are getting announced as members of the Nightmare Family when they're signing. So, I'm not sure what's going on with it, but happy that Death Triangle are number one contenders. That's for sure. And, of course, Jungle Boy had a ridiculously amazing showing.
Oh, yeah.
Blue.
I think Pac and Phoenix are going to be a real fresh matchup for the Young Bucks. I think their styles mesh well. I agree with the QT Marshall thing. I like how they're still adding stories within the match. Like everybody had their own story. Like I think the Bear Country got eliminated by Butcher singly. They look great until he came in and just tossed them out. I think they're feuding in dark. So I think every part of the match had like little snippets of kind of feuds going on, or maybe feuds like bubbling between certain factions. I think I was happy with the result. I was surprised. I would have been surprised if Jungle Boy and I feel like they just recently got a title shot, and now they would have gotten another one. But Death Triangle ended up kind of sneaking away with it. I'm trying to remember any more spots that I can think of. That Evo Uno one was. They kind of cut away from it as it happened, so they kind of saved it at the end. But you could still see Uno like running himself into a pole. But what about you, Jordan?
I'll be honest. I was really hoping for a surprise team to win this. I was hoping for Jurassic Express to win just so that I could hear in a tag team title match Tarzan Boy being played. Yep, exactly. Damn right.
No more than that. Copyright shit, right? So.
Oh well. I really thought maybe even Bear Country could shock people, because I don't know why that team. I just love that team. That team I just have a good feeling about them for some reason. John Silver and Alex Reynolds was maybe the team I was like really like my heart was set. Like, come on, give it to those two. Like, let them win this. Like, I was really hoping they'd get it. But at the end of the day, I think at the end, the right team did win. Pac and Phoenix winning it is pretty cool. And if they get I'm very excited to see them against the Young Bucks. I think that's going to be a match that's just going to be balls out extremely good.
Yeah.
Trevor will probably hate it because it's choreographed.
That's not, man. I love the Young Bucks. I really do. My problem is that like I've watched so many Young Bucks matches that I'm just like completely jaded to the quality, I guess.
Oh, I just had to do that. It's my balls are always being broken. It's always fun to break someone else's balls.
But one last thing I want to say about this, I completely forgot, is that I actually love the fact that 5 was the first person to be eliminated of the entire match. Because on BTE, we're recording this on Monday, so on BTE this morning, all of Dark Order was just shitting on 5.
Oh no.
Or
It was
5.
great. And at some point, like John Silver is saying something, Evil Uno says something against him. He yells at Uno. Stu Grayson pushes Silver, goes, "Hey, you only yell at him," and he points at 5.
Aw. He's the Zoidberg of the group.
He really is. But then, guys, this is the greatest thing ever. Okay, get ready for this. As Anna Jay wasn't there because Anna Jay's hurt, right?
Mm.
John Silver's like, Anna. It doesn't work. She's not here, guys. It's not working. So then he starts trying other people in the group's name. And he's just like, it's never going to work, man. It's not the same. It's not the same. Nobody can replace Anna Jay. She's the greatest. And then they hear they turn around, look at the door. Maki Ito walks in, both fingers up in the air, going, "Surprise, motherfuckers!"
Nice.
Yes. I'm like, all I need is Maki Ito hanging out with Dark Order and BTE. I don't need it to be a thing in Dynamite. I just need it to be a thing on BTE.
Yeah.
Have them be the new age
Oh,
Maki Respect Squad.
I mean,
is that a shirt? Does anybody know if that is a shirt?
the Maki Ito Respect Army?
Yeah. Is that a
It
shirt?
probably is.
I would not be shocked.
It was the name of her tag team. Her and one other girl. That was the whole Maki Ito Respect Squad or Respect Army. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Death Triangle, cool, awesome. Next match. This is the match that disappointed Jordan.
Let me put on my sad shades. I'm in mourning.
AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida versus Ryu Mizunami. And man, this match, I loved it. I loved this match. This was everything it needed to be. And the story that was being conveyed and told, the fact that this is a 10-year in the making match, proves one very cool thing about AEW that I'm going to bring up after. But like this there's so much history here that we just that a lot of us didn't know about. And I don't know. I love the match. I found it beautiful overall. It is sad that Mizunami lost, but oh my god. She'd have fought for her life. I haven't seen Shida like dig down to this level to beat somebody yet. So this was really cool. This is probably her best outing in my opinion. Jordan, I'll let you go into it, man. Or wait, sorry. The thing I was gonna say first. Wrestling fans. North American wrestling fans. We are very, very, very spoiled. And because
I
of
agree,
that,
Kat.
and because of that, fans around here can't wrap their heads around the idea of a match not being for them. This match was not for North American fans. This match was for Japanese fans. No, because of the story, purely. American fans can get enjoyment out of it. But how many Japanese fans do you think bought a AEW pay-per-view for the first time because of this match or because of the tournament leading up to it?
Yeah.
And plus you have an exploding barbed wire death match in the main event. To me, like this pay-per-view was really aimed at the Japanese market, just like as a subtle, like secondary objective, if you will.
Yeah.
But they have no Japanese commentary yet, which is something that they could fix very easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I had to say that, Jordan.
So yeah, my heart was on the Mob Boss to win this, but more importantly, I'll respond to what you just said about this not being for North American fans, and this is for Japanese fans. I completely agree half about this being for Japanese fans. For me, I think this match was for fans that understand that women's wrestling in Japan and all over the world is amazing, and that it is like the Japanese style of women's wrestling is as good as Japanese men's style, and that they can do just as good as the men. But first off, for looking at this match was unbelievable. Just exceeded every expectation I had. I knew it was going to be good, but man, these two women just brought it as well as both women can. And there was some at one point in this match, she's kicking the back of the mob boss's head, pretty much daring her to get up and bite her. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody give me Shinsuke Nakamura in New Japan vibes. She felt like she just became the coolest champion I've ever seen at that point, where she was pretty much telling everybody, it's like, I know I'm better than everybody, so I'm going to prove it by kicking this woman's ass. And the mob boss just, oh my God, she just hits so in this match. She made the champ look like a beast, and all in all, this match was very, very good. I was very happy with the fact that this match went well. I'm just sad that my prediction didn't come true, that the mob boss would win. But at the end of the day, I got what I wanted more than anything, which was a really solid match.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm fairly new to like the Joshi style pro wrestling. My buddies watch like Stardom and Joshi Pro, but I haven't been that exposed to it. I just wish AEW had like a week between their go home show and the pay-per-view because that package before the match pretty much told the entire story. And I know it's hard when you're doing like a tournament style to build up to the match because you don't want to spoil who's going to win the tournament. That would kind of beat the purpose of it. But it definitely, it's like you said, it wasn't for American fans. It was in Japan. That's a big thing in Japan. They're always having tournaments where it's like the New Japan Cup, the G1, the World Tag League. It's always a tournament season.
Well, like we just said, Tokyo Joshi Pro just finished a tag tournament because Maki Ito was in the finals of that tag tournament like a few days ago. So
yeah, that's true. Japan's always doing tournaments. That's like their thing. So, but like they did a really good job of explaining kind of their history with the package right before. I just wish maybe that should have aired like in Dynamite or something, just to get people a little bit more hyped about it. But like I said, it was a great match, great finish to the tournament. It's a shame Rio couldn't win, but no, it was good, great showing by both of them. I think Sheeta's really becoming like a world beater right now, so it'll be interesting to see, what's next for the women's title. Are they going to incorporate more Joshi wrestling into it? Are we, where is this going next? Because definitely there's definitely room for that in here. It feels like it almost feels like cruiserweight wrestlers in WCW back in the day, where it's like it's kind of fresh and new here in the States. It's a new style. And hopefully it picks up with the fans and it something comes out of it.
There's something I gotta say also, and I just remembered this, and this is probably one of the most ignorant things I ever heard someone wrote underneath the highlights about Revolution. Someone actually had the nerve, and it's been deleted because this person got ranted on like no tomorrow. Someone wrote pretty much, they said, why are all these Japanese women getting all these opportunities? When are some white women going to get some opportunities, or American women?
Look, I can understand the criticism, but to that I simply say it's up to a lot of the American women that are on the current roster to step it the fuck up.
And that's exactly what I was going to write under there because I'm like, this is what I mean. It's one of those things where it's like, and I'll even bring it back to what you said, Blue, about the cruiserweights. we were used to a certain style of wrestling before the cruiserweights came. And then they came in, and what did they do? They made everybody work harder. So to me, what this is the Joshi wrestling style in Japan is here, and it's finally getting exposure and a chance to really work in North America, and it's making the women who I'm sure they know how good those women are, but it's making them realize, man, you got to be really up to that level if you want to be, you know, if you want that opportunity.
But I can understand the criticism from one viewpoint. If you broaden the horizon and look at WWE as well as AEW, then all of a sudden you'll see the massive pedestal that they've put Io Shirai on, which rightfully so, in my opinion. But and then of course there's Asuka standing tall as the Raw Women's Champion as well. So yeah, when you stand back and look at the landscape of the two biggest in brackets promotions, you definitely see a lot of Japanese women standing on top right now. And to me, like I said, that just means step it up to everybody else.
Well, to me, it's like MMA. When at one point, you know, it seemed like Brazilian fighters were just dominating, and people were like, "Well, where's all the American or Canadian fighters?"
Getting their ass kicked.
There you go.
Get good.
Yeah, there you go. Just get good, man.
Do you have anything to add, Blue?
No, other than that, no, it's just good. Pretty good, hard-hitting match.
Right here. Normally on the AEW shows, I start the show with a dark shout-out. I saved it for this spot because my dark shout-out from the Saturday, the March 6th Dark Saturday, it's not a match. It's a promo. Big Swole came out and cut one hell of a good promo, saying how she was #1 contender. You know, like she had a bunch of straight wins. She was #1 contender, and then she goes home for the holidays, comes back, and gets slapped in the face with the fact that there's this tournament to crown a #1 contender now, and she's not even in it. She brings up the fact that she was fighting active Crohn's disease, like, to be where she is and to be at the top. And she's pissed. And all I have to say really to this promo about this promo is, why the hell was this promo on Dark? This was so good, because she says it. She is like, you know what? But I'm not angry anymore, because Shida, Mizunami, you both deserve it. Good for you. But there's one thing you need to remember. Whoever wins, you got a debt to pay, and that's to me. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm all in. Big Swole, let's go. Big Swole, next #1 contender. Let's do this.
Dang, no, I wish I would have seen that promo now. I hadn't seen that.
It's really, like, it bugs me when I understand, like, they want to do good things like that on Dark as well. But, like, these things need to get brought up on Dynamite afterwards because it's so good.
Yeah, there's definitely a disconnect sometimes between the shows, and, you know, not
There really
everybody's
is.
not everybody's gonna go on YouTube and watch Dynamite. Maybe with Elevation coming out, they're gonna have room for more people, but
yeah, Dark is just too long.
So does anybody know, and before we go on to the next match, something I'm trying to understand, is Dark Elevation and Dark going to be two different shows, or is Dark Elevation... Okay, all right.
I'm hoping Dark is going to be cut down to about an hour and 15 minutes, and it's going to change format a little bit. What I'm hoping is that you're going to have Dark for all of the legit new guys. You're not going to see your Scorpio Skies. You're not going to see Phoenix. You're not going to see Butcher and Blade. You're not going to see these guys on this show at all anymore. Instead, when these people start getting wins against each other, they're going to transition over to Dark Elevate. Dark Elevate is going to be where you're going to be getting people like the Captain Sean Dean, Lee Johnson, fighting people like Phoenix and the others. That's when you're going to get... So that show should be the bridge show between Dark and the main roster, is the way I see it.
It works.
I'm really hoping
I like
that's what they're going to do. Because ultimately, we don't know.
Yeah, it's still kind of
yeah.
secretive on that. Go ahead.
I don't.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to move on, but yeah. Next is what I called I called it the cooldown match.
It was.
Miro and Kip Sabian versus Best Friends. And that's no insult towards these four guys. It's just the position they were on. They were right in the middle of the card.
Mm-hmm.
And following that match,
And following that match, yeah, I completely agree with that statement. Miro and Kip do end up winning. I'll be honest, this match left the least impression on me only because of how much there's so much going on in every other match. Like there's just so much going on in this pay-per-view. It was quick. It served its purpose. You need a cooldown match. And again, this could have been one of someone's favorite matches on the card. Just because it didn't stand out to me doesn't mean like the Maki Ito might have not stood out to somebody, which God, how the hell is that even possible?
We need to get her to like respond on like Twitter or something. Just say how much she's so happy Trevor likes her.
Flipping us off saying "fuck you, Wrestle Geeks," which
I would not even. Oh my God, I'd be so honored.
Yeah, I'd lose my shit. But anyway, yeah. Blue, Miro, Kip versus Best Friends.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. This was kind of like the bathroom break match.
Yeah.
It's been kind of like a long feud. I think at least speaking for myself, I feel like I'm kind of tired of seeing these four always interacting together. I think Miro going over is the only thing that made sense. I think the way I was expecting like a comedy match, but ended up just being Orange and Chuck getting like the other shit beat out of him for a good amount of time. So that kind of took me by surprise. I think if it would have just been like the standard match, it would have been a little bit better or more entertaining for me. But I guess they're trying to kind of put Miro over. There was that one spot where he accidentally hurt Penelope. So I don't know if that's going to start anything with him and Kip or kind of the dissension there. But like I said, we'll see where this goes. There's a lot of questions remaining from this one. I feel like it could still keep going, but I would be okay if it didn't. If this whole feud happened.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of hoping that the Penelope spot does turn into almost like a modern day Mega Powers and Elizabeth kind of thing. Only because it would be a really good excuse for Miro to absolutely wreck Kip Sabian, and then Penelope Ford would still stay by Kip Sabian's side, making him like that'd be like true love, of course she loves him and not you could redo that story. And let's face it, AEW is all about getting people with nostalgia. Like
True,
nostalgia is what they deal in, other than T-shirts. T-shirt company first, wrestling company second.
Oh.
Great.
Man, they had a T-shirt before they even had a date for their first show. Okay, let's face it, they're a T-shirt company first, literally.
That's just good marketing.
Do you have anything to add about it, Jordan?
I like the fact that the spot that Blue was talking about where Miro knocks down Penelope Ford, and Kip Sabian, being the amazingly great husband that he is, looks after her and just makes sure that his queen is okay, and Miro is just like, I'm here just to kick someone's ass. To me, I actually love that kind of dynamic. I just love the fact that this match was Kip Sabian did what any man would do in, a real life situation. Your wife got knocked down. You're going to check to see if she's okay. And Miro, being the big badass that he is, went in and beat the crap out of the guys for the win.
Yep. Yeah, no, it kind of was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the most important thing was Miro looked like Miro. He looked like the brute that could kick the crap out of anybody. And I'm on Blue's side on this one thing that I think, yeah, this should end and they should sort of split this thing up and let them all do their own thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't want them to break up Miro and Kip Sabian too soon, because I do want to see how they take this. Like, I really want to see, how this goes. Maybe they will do the Mega Powers thing, but who knows?
I think it'd be fun. It might not be the best booking idea, I'll be honest, but I mean, it popped in my head and it sounded fun, so I said it out loud. Next match is the big money match. Yeah, no, Hangman Page, Matt Hardy, like this was just again another really really fun match. Like Jordan, you and me talk about this on Impact all the time. How it looks like the people in the ring are just enjoying themselves most of the time on Impact Wrestling.
Exactly.
That's what I got out of this. Hangman and Matt Hardy looked like they were just having a ball out there. Like, I don't know. And then, of course, you have, like, Dark Order, and you have everything with, like, you have TH2 and Private Party, and all of the shenanigans. All the shenanigans, because this match had to be full of shenanigans. I mean, it's a big money match, for God's sakes. How could you not have shenanigans? No, I just really had fun with this one again. Like, it was nothing spectacular either. It was just Matt Hardy and Hangman being really good at wrestling. But I just really enjoyed it. It was cool. Jordan?
Man, this just shows you that Matt Hardy is just one of the best workers of all time, because the fact that he can still, work with pretty much anyone, change his gimmick seemingly every year, and always seem to be fresh, is just unbelievable how good he is. I mean, Adam Page, was great, but to me, Matt Hardy was just the star of this match, because he just really, he was having fun. It's been a long time since I've seen Matt Hardy in a match kind of like this, where you see him just enjoying it. And that's the great thing about AEW. Guys who, maybe it's the air at the WWE, I don't know what it is, but there's guys when they come to AEW, you can tell they're just like, they just breathe in and they just breathe out. And it's like, oh, this is fun. I'm having fun doing this.
Yeah.
I still say, Adam Page, shut the fuck up and join the Dark Order.
It's happening. It's happening.
I'm going to cry when that happens. I'm going to be like, that's got to be my Miss Elizabeth running to Macho Man. It's got to be my Miss Elizabeth running to Macho Man.
That's great.
Yeah, I like how they kind of always tease it. They help him out, but he hasn't officially, said I do. It feels like a wedding. One of my favorite spots in this match was I think Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat, and Matt just counters with what is the side effect? Is that what it's called? Like his and then a twist of fate. That was probably one of the best spots, because you're like, oh, here it comes. And I was like, oh, wait, now. And then the Dark Order coming in with their counter shenanigans. Trying to countering Private Party shenanigans. So that was good, because you see, like, they're still all supporting him. So it'll be interesting to see, because I feel like Cody is kind of doing his thing with the Nightmare Family, the American Family. The Nightmare Family.
That'd be such a cool team name in Canada. The American Family.
Oh my God.
It's like heels for
life. Give me the right couple wrestlers and watch me go.
I'm not from here. I have my own customs. I have a better looking passport.
Oh man. Yeah. So I and then the Kenny kind of has the bullet, the pseudo bullet club. I don't know. I'm like tripping over my words here. So it's like it'll be funny to see if there's some sort of like stable war where Hangman ends up being the leader, or the Dark Order. You like reluctantly at first, but then like, hey, it actually these guys are bailing me out. They're kind of like my friends. So I don't know.
I think in a year from now, we could see something like Cody leading like an entire faction, like almost like a New Japan faction thing, where we'd have Cody leading the Nightmare Family. We'd have Kenny Omega running his own thing by this point, not the Bullet Club. The Bucks would have their own faction, and then you'd see Hangman with Dark Order.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then, of course, you'd have others that pop up in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be really fun and cool. I as I explained to Jordan, I love the faction system because, you know, the more belts that a faction has, the more power they have in the promotion, and the more they can manipulate and control things booking-wise. And I just find it makes for good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I had for that match. Surprisingly, like I guess I didn't see too much of the build-up for this match. I wasn't as excited for it. So, but overall, I enjoyed it. And I think I enjoy the Dark Order Hangman angle more than I do Big Money Matt. I don't know what's next for Big Money Matt.
Yeah, I mean, like me and Jordan had Big Money Matt over on Impact Private Party for like a month and a half. So I mean, we kind of fell in love with it over there.
That's
right?
true.
So,
That's why I didn't see too much of him on Dynamite. He's just kind of been trading shows.
yeah, but it works, right? I mean, like it works really well. The jumping talent stuff, and I cannot wait for New Japan to really do it more with them. One thing I will say, Jordan, when you were saying like there's a different energy, like when wrestlers walk into AEW, is like if they breathe something in the air and all of a sudden like everything's different. Paul White was saying that. That walking around in that locker room was like it was a positive it was a positive creative energy like he hadn't seen in decades in a locker room. So I mean, like that says a lot.
Sure.
Did the big announcement from Christian Cage was it here, or was it after the ladder match? Because I don't remember. But I'll talk about it now.
Yeah. Well, let's just jump straight into it.
Why not? It's right there.
They did the countdown. They played his music, and Jordan, I assume you recognize the countdown and the music. That's his.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I was really like, "Oh my god, really?"
Yeah, that was his TNA music back in the day.
I loved that. I really did.
The instant classic.
Yes, and that's what they signed him as on the All Elite banner. And it's the instant classic. Christian Cage is All Elite, so I mean that's really cool. He didn't say anything. He just walked into the ring, signed the paper, and then walked out. And you know what? Actually, sorry, he didn't have to say anything. He just flashed his shirt. Outwork everyone. I'm like, yeah, that's Christian's. Christian has always been amazing. Underrated. It's only in the last like 5 years that people really started to talk about how amazing he was.
That was a shock. I did not see him being the guy. I don't think anybody did. Well, and that's what I love about those, oh my god, this guy's here? Because it could have been, everybody was, as you had said in your AEW recap, Dynamite, you said it was, you were hoping it was Okada.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, that could be cool. But instead they just went a completely, a different way that nobody even expected. And I'm sure there are a lot of people, because it feels like last week he was on WWE. To me, at least, it feels like.
It feels like he was just there. It feels like he was there like 2 weeks ago almost, but it's been the Rumble.
Yeah. But I will say there is a part of me that hopes, and I'm sure AEW won't do it, and I've already said my biggest fear with AEW is too many ex-WWE guys.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Would you consider Sting an ex-WWE guy? Because I don't.
Oh, no, not at all.
Right? And that's the thing. Like, there's certain people, like Matt Hardy. Do you consider Matt Hardy ex-WWE?
Yep.
Okay. That's one of his, 15 accolades you can give him. That's the thing about Matt Hardy. He transcends, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I don't see former WWE when I look at Matt Hardy, because his career in TNA was just as big.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I agree.
Christian Cage was bigger in TNA than he was in
Oh,
WWE.
without question. Yeah, without question.
It's like a lot of people saying Kurt Angle could have been the pick, and people would have been cool with it because again, Kurt Angle, TNA, not like WWE. Yes, of course for Kurt Angle, and of course for Christian, you have that instant memory, but to not follow their careers outside of WWE, it's like Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
Bully Ray.
Bully Ray was huge.
You can't undersell how amazing the character Bully Ray is. So it's one of those things that for me, I'm like, you can say ex-WWE all you want, but WWE was the only actual real game in town for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect? It's really the way I see it. Like, what do you expect? Like, they were the only, they had a monopoly for 30 years.
Someone give this guy a hug. This guy needs a hug right now. He's losing his anger.
No, I get irritated about the whole
30 years.
I get irritated about the whole ex-WWE, and my wife gets me.
Oh, there it is. Reunited and it feels so good.
That was pretty good.
I am all alone. I got no one.
But yeah, I completely lost my train of thought, I'll be honest.
Oh, man.
No, the ex-WWE thing bothers me. It's like Matt Cardona. People were saying, oh, well, Matt, he's got to get the WWE stink off of him. Matt Cardona's ex-WWE. And I'm like, yeah, but when WWE laid him off, which, are you really angry at this guy for getting hired by WWE when he was a kid?
Mm-hmm.
And spending his entire life / career in WWE? Are you really holding that against him now that he's been fired by the company and he has to go make a living somewhere else? Like, that's... I'm sorry, it's really fucking stupid.
No, I'm sorry for you. That hug did do shit.
You pinched a nerve, Jordan.
I just had to say it. I it's one of those. I hear it all the time, and it's to me, it's one of those things that it's only valid half of the time it gets brought up, if that. But anyway, that's my rant for this episode, guys. It's turning into a thing. Blue, did you have anything to add about Christian?
With Christian, I mean, I wasn't expecting Christian at all. I don't think anybody was. I think the main consensus was the Japanese wrestler or Kurt Angle. So it was a pleasant surprise. I kind of see him doing more of a Matt Hardy role where he's gonna play mentor to some younger talent.
Oh,
I don't see him going for the world title or anything. I mean, maybe at some point he'll finagle his way. I love heel instant classic Christian Cage.
Oh my God, yes.
He was great. He can also do the face, but like he's definitely stronger as a heel.
Oh, without question, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of see maybe another stable going on where maybe he'll want to put over, some young talent. I think as long as they use him that way, I'll be happy with him. I know Edge is Canadian, and you guys might disagree with me, but him winning the Royal Rumble, I was just kind of shaking my head at that. I understand the story of him having to retire and coming back to get the title he never lost, but it's like from number 1 at 50 years old. That kind of blew my mind. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that part of me, I didn't agree.
Whatever. I'm fine with him winning it for the most part. I don't care. I'm biased towards Edge, but I'm totally biased towards Edge. Man, it's really hard for me not to be. But I will admit that he should lose at Mania. He's going up against Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns should absolutely destroy him, in my opinion. Not saying it should be a squash match, but I'm saying that it should be a definite win for Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. And just to parallel back to Christian Cage, like that's kind of what I want to see Cage on, like legitimate contender, but never really the champion. He doesn't need that belt. He doesn't need to be the champion, but
yes,
he'll just always be seen as a credible threat just because of his past. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. They can use him to push over, young talent. Make a Canadian stable. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just like, yeah, because he is like, Christian Cage is one of the best ever. Giving him a rub with a young guy is just going to help the guy.
Yeah.
You saying making a Canadian staple, we might as well just segue. Next match is the Face of the Revolution ladder match, where we had 6 contenders. The to-be-announced mystery contender is...
Oh, so happy, so
Canadian
happy, so
All
happy.
Ego Ethan Page.
So happy for this guy.
I mean, yeah, we're Impact fans. The North.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not just a Impact fan. I am maybe the biggest All Ego fan.
No, yeah, I like his online content. I follow him for the most part. I've spoken to him before, actually, as well. So that was cool. That's cool.
That's awesome.
But the other people in the match are Scorpio Sky, Cody Rhodes, Penta, Lance Archer, and Max Caster. The thing from Dark that I would mention is the Max Caster ladder match song.
I know what you're talking about.
Man. He's just got it. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I love everything that comes out of that guy's mouth.
He's awesome.
Man.
But, okay. Here's the part that's going to make you guys go, what? I didn't care about this ladder match overall. There's a couple of, like, cool spots, but overall, I was just like, I'm bored of 6-man ladder matches. I'm bored of 6, 7-man ladder matches because I feel like every time I see a ladder match, and not like a TLC, an actual ladder match, there's always like 6 guys in it now. And I just kind of miss an old school triple threat ladder match. I don't know. Like, is it me or?
No, funny enough, and I'll interrupt here for a bit. I was watching the pay-per-view with the Tiger Driver guys. And they kind of they said the same thing. They were like, out of all the matches in this pay-per-view, this one kind of felt like a little bit boring, or not boring, because there was a lot of exciting spots and stuff, but something about it was a little bit underwhelming, where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just exhaustion from the entire pay-per-view, but yeah, maybe it's just seeing all these similar ladder matches going on, because 6-man ladder matches seems to be like the stable, or multi-man ladder matches.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also to add, yeah, Max Caster's raps are getting better and colder.
Really good.
There was one on Dynamite where he says, "I'm gonna light it up like Lady Gaga's dog walker," and I read up on that, and apparently Lady Gaga's dog walker was shot, and I'm like, what the hell, man? That's just like, I
Awesome.
thought, like,
Oh my god.
that's terrible. But yeah, he got away with it, and then he I was like, I mean, it's in, to me, if it's in rap, if you insult someone in rap style, it's okay.
Yeah.
But maybe I have a higher tolerance for these kind of things. Maybe not a lot of people found that very funny. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's funny. That's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So the ladder match itself, do you agree with us, Jordan? For you, are you also kind of getting burnt out on this, or?
Okay, so first, this was the match I thought would open the show, because
Agreed.
I really thought the best way to open the show is to start out. I always think ladder matches are the best way to start out, because you get that whole high spot feel from the show. You get the whole, like, ooh, he's climbing, falls down all the way through tables, or
yeah,
they did a really cool move on the off the ladders and everything. I will admit, yes, I don't like the fact that it seems like every ladder match nowadays is 6-man ladder matches, 8-man ladder matches, 20-man ladder matches. Just feels
we're
like
not there yet.
it feels like we're gonna be someday. But I did like how. Here's the things I did like. Cody Rhodes did a great job of almost being kind of like John Cena, where he was going to overcome all the odds and win, but he didn't. And that just shows how much of a team player Cody Rhodes is. He doesn't need to be the biggest guy. He'll lose in a match where, as some people may say, this match meant nothing. Cody Rhodes will lose, and he'll still look like $1 million.
Yep.
I was very happy not only to see Ethan Page in AEW, but I'm very happy that they didn't do what they did the last time, which was when Brian Cage showed up, he automatically won. Instead, they gave it to Scorpio Sky, who I think deserves it. I love Scorpio Sky. He's a great talent. But all in all, yeah, this match, it didn't have the energy I was hoping the match would have, which is why I think if it had been the opening match, it would have had more of an energy to it.
Yeah,
Agreed.
probably. Ethan Page, I do like the guy, but I don't think that's the right finisher for you, buddy.
Wait, what's his finisher?
I don't know if like it wasn't his finisher before, but he was doing the Razor's Edge.
Oh.
He did 2 of them, right? During it, I think only 2 of them. And
Mhm.
I just that move. No, it doesn't work for me as a finisher. If that's what he's looking for, personally.
Mhm.
I mean, like, who am I to tell him what to choose as his finisher? But just saying, I didn't work for me.
I was thinking, though, if Penta won, I thought that would have been cool for all 3 of Death Triangle to have title shots.
That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
That was my pick to win, because I was thinking, oh, those 2 got a title shot. Penta should get one too.
Nah, they weren't going to do it.
Worth a shot. It was a hope.
No, so
yeah.
No, I think the right guy won here. Looking at the guys in this match, I would consider Ethan Page a heel, even though he hasn't really done anything heelish, but he just comes off as a heel.
Oh, yeah.
There was really only 2 faces in this match. Huh?
No, I was agreeing. Yeah, Ethan Page comes off as a heel just by being Ethan Page.
Just by looking at it, yeah. Scorpio was technically the only baby face. I wouldn't consider Cody Rhodes sometimes. I don't know. He's kind of like he changes on a whim. So I think the right guy won, and it'll be good to see Scorpio versus Darby in the future for the TNT title. I think that'll be a very good match.
Mhm.
I don't know if Darby's gonna drop it, but that's a conversation for whenever that happens.
Yeah.
So on the go home episode of Dynamite, what we got Scorpio Sky on commentary during Max Caster and 10 match to see which one of those 2 would qualify. And if you were paying attention, Scorpio Sky was being the most stereotypically bad heel I've ever seen in my life. It was really cringy how bad he was. Oh, none of these guys, it doesn't matter. None of these guys got 50% of the talent I got. You know, like just really terrible.
Oh no.
I don't even need to be 100%. 100 because me at 90% is better than all of them at 100 together, and like really cringy lines like that. And I'm like, Scorpio Sky is going to win this ladder match because they're going out of their way to make him a heel, and I fucking knew that was going to happen. I hated it.
That's one thing about AEW. Sometimes their heel face ratio just swaps. Like suddenly, Private Party's heel now.
I don't think they need to have heels and faces. I think they just need their wrestlers to be themselves at this point.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say about this match is, did anybody recognize the brass ring? Like that. I
thought it was a toilet seat. I really thought that was a golden toilet seat. I really thought it was.
I thought we were going to get a trailer for Sonic 2.
Yeah, we kept making fun of the fact that it looked like a Sonic ring, and we kept playing Sonic music. Like when you pass the stage, like dun 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 dun. Or what I said was like, what would you do if you guys have ever played Sonic? When you get 100 rings, you like warp into a giant ring. I was like, what if when Scorpio grabs it, he just phases out of existence? He warped to the bonus stage of life. We were just having a ball with that.
Oh my god.
But that being said, if you're gonna have a brass ring that looks like that, if you guys don't know who he is, AEW needs to bring back Leroy Green. I need the Switch Kid in that ring for a match like that. You have a Sonic ring above them. Bring in the video game guys for this. It's too good.
Right.
Here's another reason why I didn't like the ladder match that much. The cinematic street fight that came next was so freaking good.
Yes.
Like, match of the night for me.
I was scared what you were going to say to that one.
No, match. Sting and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage, Ricky Starks in an undisclosed location. Man, the whole thing was just crazy. We had a Hollywood level death drop, like coffin drop. Sorry. We had Darby Allin being defenestrated, which go check it up. That is the official word for being put through a window. We had Brian Cage putting Darby Allin in a stalling suplex and then walking up a flight of stairs. Like, Darby Allin's not a big guy. But that's still stupid impressive.
Yeah.
Like, this match was just like... yeah, man. I'm going to go rewatch this match after. It's really good. This is everything I wanted in more from this. And, like, I'm not a big cinematic match guy. They're okay. But this was awesome. This was absolutely awesome.
You know what I noticed that was like brilliant about having this match in this spot of the pay-per-view? They were setting up the barbed wire during this entire match. And that blew up my mind. That blew my mind when I realized, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, they needed this to be cinematic. If not, when the hell were they going to set up the explosive barbed wire match? And it kind of just connected with me at the end. But yeah, no, I love the spot where it's right at the beginning where Darby just runs up a wall and just does the tombstone drop on one of the guys. And I was like, that was freaking impressive. He just like ran up a wall and no, it was really good. I think if you're gonna have Sting, this is the way to do matches with him. Don't put him in a real street fight. He's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
We've seen that in Saudi Arabia with Taker. Like you just gotta.
Yeah.
And it, especially now more than ever, cinematic matches are more widely accepted in wrestling. So I think wrestling fans will be forgiving as long as it's not too phony or too, and especially with a guy like Sting, like everybody's gonna forgive Sting for not having like an actual like 5-star Okada Omega match. You know, that's way past him. So just thrive on his badassery and the what's the word I'm looking for? Like oh my god, it's at the tip of my tongue, but I keep forgetting the nostalgia and badassery that is Sting. I think this match was really excellent with that. What do you think, Jordan?
I am a huge fan of cinematic matches, and I always will watch them. I'm always hoping that they're good. Sometimes they're not good. I mean, sometimes they can be just horrible, schlocky things. Sometimes they can. I've actually seen companies try to do the cinematic matches and then bring it into actual audiences, and there'll be a mistake and people will call it on that. So it can, cinematic matches are really hard to really look good. They can be good and they can be horrible. This was good. This was the kind of cinematic match I'd want them to be, which is, the lighting, the production, everything looked great. And you're completely right, Blue. Sting, they really need to. They did this right with him because he can't be the 5-star general anymore. But at the same time, this match everybody looked so cool in it. It just had an awesome feel to it. But yeah, I was very happy and pleased with this match. And yeah, that's all I have. I was just speechless with how happy I was with how good this match was. I don't know why, but I loved when Darby Allin threw Sting the black baseball bat. It was just like that. To me, that was a Marvel moment.
Yeah, I was right about to say that's Bucky throwing Cap to Shield.
Yeah, that was literally.
That was
like the one thing I was hoping though in the match that they would have done as a callback to Endgame is like Darby Allin getting beaten up, and then you just see a black baseball bat
come up
get picked up. And I was just, if that would have happened, all I need is popcorn for that match, and I would have been happy.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But just before I'm sorry, just one more thing. For any wrestling company that does cinematic matches, my view of cinematic matches is this. Do it any way you want. The great thing about cinematic matches is it is a wide style of wrestling. And yeah, people are not going to like it or people are going to like it. The great thing is that's wrestling.
Yeah. Arguably, the entire existence of Lucha Underground is cinematic. So, I mean...
Yeah, I miss that show.
Oh, so much. I miss it too.
I think all real wrestling fans will miss that show. That show. But what I was gonna say is, on the media scrum afterwards, Paul White was saying how like the atmosphere made Brian Cage feel like the Incredible Hulk. Like it felt like he was watching an actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would have been super cheesy but badass at the same time? If they try to spear Sting and then he just like bursts into 1,000 crows or something. I don't know. I was just thinking how stupid that would have been.
You're talking to Impact fans, dude. We're right into that.
The only thing would have been better is if they did the Ethan Page thing where Karate Man ripped his heart out.
Oh God,
oh my God.
No.
Oh no.
Only you like that, Jordan.
Hey, I thought that was it. I actually pitched one idea for a cinematic match. I'll just say this for if someone was doing it, and it would just be a total like comedy thing because I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Undercover Brother.
Yes.
But there's a part in that where I just wish they'd do it in a cinematic match where he stomps down and you hear the crunch sound and underneath it's a bag of chips and the guy just goes, I just bought those.
Yes. Do you know how often this happened at indie shows where like wrestlers go flying around and all of a sudden someone loses their food? Like someone in the crowd loses their food?
Yeah.
Literally had Chip Chambers. Chip Chambers did a dive to the outside, went over the barricade, and then after he gets up, looks around, looks where his foot landed, and he goes, "Sorry about your poutine."
Shout out to Chip Chambers, love that guy.
Oh, he's great. But yeah, no, I man, AEW does great cinematic matches so far. Yeah, no, this was again, moment of the night, but here's what's going to blow both your minds. I don't know if either of you know this. Darby Allin, before his whole skateboarding career, dropped out of film school. Darby Allin is an independent film producer.
I heard about that, yeah.
So all of the little vignettes that he releases in that, those are self-produced. He makes those.
Did he do the cinematic match, did it say?
He produced 90% of this match, according to Tony Khan.
Awesome. That's cool.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And that's good that they'd allow him to do that, you know.
That's the beauty of AEW. People ask me, like, who's the main booker of Dynamite? I'm like, I don't know.
Can you imagine, though, telling Sting, here's what you're going to do?
Right?
Like, holy crap, man.
Yeah, AEW seems to be that there's a council that you bring your ideas to. That seems to be what happens there.
Blue, what's your thought of cinematic matches? I don't know if you said anything of how you feel about them.
I enjoy them roughly. I think as long as they're not too goofy, which I know you guys are Impact fans, you might take offense to that, but
goofy comes with the territory.
Yeah, like I said, I think in Lucha Underground, it made sense for people to die and come back because that was the whole thing was cinematic. But when
you think of something, go when you're done. Okay. I thought of something.
And then I kind of like more like AJ versus Undertaker in this kind of style match where it's just kind of a street fight. So it has to happen outside, and there's a little bit more production quality to that. I wasn't the versions I wasn't a big fan of was like Bray versus John Cena. Like if I wanted, because those two, it was crazy. It was fun, but at the same time, it's like that was it. That was the match. Like it was a mind trip. I'll give you that.
I really love dissecting it, so maybe that's what it is for me. Like from a standpoint, I loved it. So
yeah. I think about it two ways: as a wrestling fan, and then as a person coming in and not knowing what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like certain types like that type of cinematic match is for the fan and not so much for like the consumers or the new consumer. But it's not that I hate them. It's just like I like this, but I could see why it would turn people away if they're not familiar with, who John was or who Bray was, or in this case Sting. But yeah, that's kind of my consensus in the cinematic match. It can be fun, it can be goofy with the right people, with the right setup. This was the perfect setup for it, and I really enjoyed this one.
So before we go into the main event, what I thought of randomly when you said that, Jordan, can you please remind the audience how Allie was written off of Impact TV?
She was killed.
She was murdered.
She was murdered.
My God.
Yep.
She was murdered on Impact TV. That's how she was written off. And now she's on AEW as the bunny. And I'm just like, I really want to see Allie just show up in Impact and everybody goes, oh my God, a fucking zombie!
Yes, that would be awesome.
I want to see them play it up so stupidly because somebody would.
Oh my God, that would be so freaking hilarious. That's why I tell people, like, that's the kind of, if I was running a wrestling company, first of all, I want to do differently from everybody else, but I'd be like, I'd like to try to do something like Lucha Underground, where we do like videos and, oh my God, this guy died, and it would just be funny if he just came back. It's like, hey, what's going on, guys? Where the fuck did you come from?
I come up with the idea once of creating a bunch of wrestlers creating superhero personas and actually making superhero style gear, and you do an entire like superhero supervillain styled, and this would have like a lot of hokey stuff in it, of course, right? Like stupid things like force lightning and things that make no sense, right? But like, it'd be for kids primarily, and you could actually have heroes like die off because they're heroes, but the wrestler would just change his gimmick and change his character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what was brilliant about Lucha Underground. You just kind of slap a mask on someone, and it's like he's someone else now.
Yeah, there you go.
Even though there was a one time where, what's his indie name? He was Jeremiah Crane, but
Solomon Crow
Sammy
or Sammy Can.
Sammy Can.
Solomon Crow. Yeah.
His name was Jonathan Crane, and then he died, and he came back with the Snake Tribe, and his name was Jeremiah Snake or something.
I loved it so much.
Like he wasn't even wearing a mask; he was just him with like a snake gimmick. I was like,
oh, great.
Okay, whatever, I'll accept this.
The one that worked for, I think we can all agree, the one that worked with best was Mil Muertes.
Oh yeah,
his whole dying thing and coming back as this unstoppable monster was perfect.
He's doing that in MLW, man.
Yeah,
he's still doing that.
Yeah.
But let's go to Jim Cornette's favorite match. Not doing anything here. Let's go and hear
AEW World Championship Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. And oh my God, this is so great. The match itself was absolutely amazing. It was great. It was everything it needed to be. It was a good death match, considering that this is like how big AEW is and how mainstream AEW is. This was good. This is a really good death match. We have like the slow pace at the beginning where they're just trying to shove each other's faces straight into the barbed wire. The beautiful one-wing angel that is still protected because Moxley just put his foot on the rope, causing an explosion to do a rope break or break the pin. I mean, like that's brilliant. I love it. I love the in-ring psychology of this match. Everything about it was so good. The exploding baseball bat.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, like. You had the Good Brothers interfering. This match had everything. It had everything it needed to be, except for the ending.
Oh man,
the ending was such a dud. And I Eddie Kingston sold that little sparkler, whatever the ending was, like if it killed him. But it has been pointed out that Eddie Kingston had his head down and face buried into Moxley. There was a very large chance that he heard it, but didn't actually see that it didn't go off. So he just sold it. And then, like, Bryce Ramsworth probably told him what happened. And he was like, well, I'm already selling it, so I guess I'm going to keep selling it.
Sell it to the moon.
I'll shoot it to you guys for this one because the match itself was amazing. Like I said, the ending's disappointing.
So, as a lot of people know, I am a huge FMW fan, so I know exploding barbed wire death matches. I've seen it and I watched it and I've always loved it, and I was very excited. It didn't matter. I was very excited to see this in a North American style setting because we've seen barbed wire matches in TNA, but never an exploding barbed wire death match. The ending was the end. Was the ending. I mean, you guys are probably going to say as much as I need to say about the ending. But here's what I think at the end. The match was good, and it showed, it just was everything I hoped it was. It was, the explosions looked great. The guys did an awesome job with using the barbed wire in the sense of like, ooh, we're going to not just throw you into the barbed wire, we're going to make you wait for that explosion, because that's the first. If you can get them with the first explosion, then it's all good. At the end of the day, the match was great. I liked it. The ending is what the ending was.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, take the ending out of it, good match.
I mean, if you take into account the kayfabe reason, it makes it much better. But it's the fact that we have to go out of our way to go find it. Blue.
Yeah, I guess to talk about the match first. I haven't never seen like a barbed wire death match. I have seen similar stuff in Wrestling Society X, but that show was a trip, crazy. If you guys remember that show on MTV.
Oh my god, that show!
It was like Piranha Deathmatch match, and it was nuts. This was not like that. That was just like, but it was interesting to see. Like the ring was basically cut in 1/4. Like you could only really bounce off the ropes on one side. That's so interesting to see, and kind of how they handled it, and how they were trying to force themselves into the barbed wire, or how they would use the barbed wire in submissions or in attacks to like, bust the other guy open. Both guys kind of got busted open. That spot with the one wing Danjo and like the foot on the rope explosion, that's what put it over the line for me. I was like, oh man, that was so smart. I was like, not only did he just put his foot there, he had to just flail his foot at the ropes, like to cause something that'll like get Kenny off him. So that was a brilliant way of protecting the move and John. I've seen the endings described in so many ways, but the best way I heard was from the Wrestling from Her Gut guy, Brian Zane. He was like, he just does like this. I don't know if you guys heard that. It's just like a boom. Like, yeah. No, where's the kaboom? I hope somebody, if somebody listens to the show and they like to make videos, they send something to Botchamania where it's like Marvin the Martian going like, "Where's the kaboom?" There was supposed to be a giant kaboom. That's the one thing that was in my head the entire time.
How did I never even think of that? That's fucking genius.
The kayfabe reason for the explosion not going off being like that Kenny Omega is a wrestling genius, but let's face it, he's not perfect and he messed up. He created a dud.
That's brilliant.
It's a good idea.
I think at least for the hardcore wrestling fans that'll look into that, they'll be like, wow, that's actually really smart. And if they do, I would run with that and be like, yeah, it was like a dud bomb, and Eddie was just so concerned about his. I do love Eddie Kingston coming in and saving him, because you've seen the story through Dynamite where they used to be friends and now he has his new family. But when you see him come in, his current family, which is the Butcher of the Blade and the Bunny, they just left him while he ran in to save his old buddy. So it's like, oh, you're kind of seeing his current family, quote unquote, wasn't there for him when he needed them the most. So that was all brilliant. It was just like the kaboom. That's kaboom. It was like, I agree. If the explosion had just been, a little bit better. Had it just been an explosion, this would have been like amazing storytelling.
Yeah.
Trevor, you better put a little Marvin Martian into this, like just a little picture of him.
Oh man.
Just put him in the middle of barbed wire. Where's the kaboom? Mox Omega promised me a really big kaboom.
But like I will admit, like, could you imagine if whatever they were planning did work though?
Oh yeah, that would.
It would have been great. It would have been amazing. So them taking the risk, you know what I mean? They took a risk, a massive risk to do this live on pay-per-view. But sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Man, Eddie Kingston, I can't wait to see where it goes. Because I love the idea of Kingston and Moxley getting, like, being a tag team or just working together in any way. And if you actually pay attention to Kenny Omega, to all of his promos leading up to this, right? Kenny thinks he's amazing and everything. But if you really pay attention, he's been failing at everything. Don Callis has just been upping his ego and inflating his ego this whole time. So, yeah, Kenny bit off more than he could chew. It actually is consistent with the story with what they're doing with his character. So it works. I think it might have been their backup plan right from the get-go, in case something did happen.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love
that. One thing I just want to give a shout out to is for people complaining about this and saying that it ruined the show. Maybe one match to some people does ruin a whole show. I do not agree with that. This show had some awesome matches, and the match was good. It was just the ending. I just don't agree with any, like, I'm looking at the retweets that people are posting saying I want my money back because, you know, it wasn't what I expected. So you're going to complain about, so you're going to say that this whole card was horrible, that every match was a dud because of sparklers?
Do you buy a 6-hour UFC pay-per-view for just the main event?
Yeah.
You know, like, UFC pay-per-views are 6 hours. The main event sucks. I don't see people bitching the way they bitch about this. And there's a hell of a lot more UFC fans than there are wrestling fans. Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where wrestling fans, a lot of us are very spoiled.
Yeah. Very
spoiled. But that's my thing. I feel North American fans are spoiled.
I feel what. No, go ahead.
No, I was good. I was saying I'm in Canada. I get it, but like I feel it.
No, I feel the one way that this, at least for Eddie Kingston, just let him cut a promo on that explosion, and Eddie Kingston will just fix everything up in Dynamite. That's all.
Oh my God, yeah.
As a fan of Eddie, like, and it's like that's probably all you need. Just let him cut loose on that explosion and just.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that'll probably just fix that much, huh?
How pissed must he be because how stupid he looked?
Yeah, that's like I felt so bad for him, and it's like,
yeah.
But
if there's anybody who can make, you know, crap look good, it's Eddie Kingston. He always knows how to somehow make it work, and as I've said before, kudos to AEW. They always seem to make mistakes work out somehow. Like, we all remember when the beating of that one guy in the Dark Order, when it was revealed he wasn't even taking punches. What do? They made that into a story.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, good on AEW being smart enough to say, okay, everyone's going to, you know, shit on this moment. Let's make it work to our advantage.
They take one moment in history and they apply it to everything. A really horrible catastrophe happens. Don't panic. Take advantage. Owens 316 says, I just broke your neck. Right there, man.
Yep.
Owen Hart invented that. Like oh shit, I royally screwed up. Let's turn this into gold. Right? So AEW they're masters at it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what AEW does is a lesson for other companies. Never ever always accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. if you can do that and do it good, you're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep your ear close to the community and just
Yeah.
like you saw Maki Ito, Eddie Kingston getting signed to was probably a result of the people just loving Eddie.
Mhm.
And that sells.
Absolutely. So, I think that's everything from Revolution.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster ride of the pay-per-view for sure. AEW always knocks them out of the park in my opinion.
Mhm.
I had nothing else to add about it anyway, guys.
I can add some final thoughts. One thing I really appreciated about the show was a cardinal sin any company does right now is like they overdo spots, and I felt like this show was so unique and diverse. There wasn't a redone table spot. They redid a table spot in Dynamite, and here no, they saved the ladder spots or the extreme spots for the match, the barbed wire spot. There was no overlapping of basically numbing certain spots like a table spot or a chair
Mhm.
shot.
Mhm.
Everything was kind of fresh throughout the whole pay-per-view, and that's something you don't see a lot nowadays. There's a lot of repetitiveness where people want to do everything in a match and go through tables and jump off the top rope and jump to the outside. Here they kept it fresh for the most part. That's something I really appreciated about the show. If I needed to add any last thing to it.
100% agree with that, man. Jordan, any closing thoughts?
I was very happy with the show all around, and can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining us on this Revolution recap. Tonight is AEW Dynamite. We got some cool stuff on the card. We're going to have Matt Jackson taking on Ray Phoenix in a one-on-one. That should be fun. And the Inner Circle War Council is probably the thing I'm the most interested in right now. But please like, share, subscribe. Leave comments down below about what you want to see the most and what parts of Revolution you like the most. As well as the next time we'll be here will be Friday morning with our New Japan recap. Me and Blue will be joined by the rest of Team Tiger Driver. Have a good one, everybody.
Or else.